three fellas are some of the most earth-shattering yappers to ever tread across this very land, but not all yap is created equally. So today, we're gonna dive into some uncharted waters to not only prove that black people can swim, but to answer everybody's burning question: who's actually spitting? And who needs to be banished from ever opening their yapper again? As you can see here, I've developed a scientifically and mathematically accurate way to measure all this yap business, that when we're talking about yap itself, we're not using that in a negative connotation. Yap is just the state of flapping your lips, but we're trying to calculate who's better at flapping their lips and who's not too hot at running their mouth. We have 5 categories. Here's how we're gonna calculate who goes into which category. Likeability. If I don't like you, you might automatically shift down a little bit to the lower tier area, right? Because as we know, the only thing more powerful than science itself is personal opinion. Then, quality of the yap. Are you just yapping a yap, or is there actually substance to your yap? Is there meat to that bone? Does it have style? Does it have emphasis? Does it have power to it? If you have those traits, might get a little bit higher onto the ranking board up here. So starting off at the top tier, we have Sir Yaps a lot. Now this tier, highest level of yap that you can achieve. Under that though, we have literate in Japanese. This is when they're fluent in their yap, but you're not as powerful as Sir Yaps a lot. You know, that presence just isn't there. Under that though, we have the mid yapper. This is really middle of the road. It's not good, it's not bad. You may not be as fluent in yapping as the top 2 rankings, but you might not get as wacky as the lower 2, which we're gonna get to. Starting off with bros onto nothing. This is when they're just yapping a yap, and that yap has no direction. It's going nowhere. They might just keep yapping. You know those people, when they're just yapping and it's going in one ear and it's processing in your brain and you're just thinking, dang, if they don't stop talking, I'm gonna kill myself. Then we have the please stop talking tier. This is when they're not only not onto nothing, but they're just annoying while they're yapping about nothing. So now that we know how these tiers work, we're starting off strong with Mr. Kanye West. Now, Ye has a special deep place in my heart because he made graduation. Not only did he make graduation, he made College Dropout. Not only did he make College Dropout, he made Life of Pablo. But this isn't just about music, right? When he's yapping outside of music, I think a lot of his ideas and his yapping has been largely misguided, but I also think that's in part because he doesn't have the right people around him who will lovingly tell him that he's wrong. Because lately, as we've seen, he said a wacky thing or two. He needs somebody to lovingly look him in the face with loving eyes and say, Kanye, you're a genius, but I need you to shut the hell up. He needs people to tell him when he's wrong, like Dave Chappelle. He had Dave Chappelle, and then Dave Chappelle distanced himself when Ye went crazy on the Jews.
Which was misdiagnosed by a, I'm not gonna say what race, what people, doctor. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
You know, because Chappelle's been around the cancel hammer few times or two, but it is Ye, so he automatically goes to the top tier because he's Ye. Next we have Osama bin Laden. To be quite frank with you, I don't know what this fellow was yapping about. But if you haven't noticed, airborne terrorism is completely off the table now because this nigga ruined it for everybody. He ruined the party. You can't go driving planes in the buildings anymore. That seems about right. Next you got Sir Joseph Biden. I'm no political guy, but I don't think Joseph even knows what he's yapping about when he's yapping. When he's yapping, it goes nowhere. And then he forgets that he's even yapping, and it just spirals into this state of nothingness.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
He's on to nothing. Next we have my high school ex-girlfriend. Now this isn't an accurate visual representation of her, but it is a woman. She has woman features, and we'll just use this. I didn't want to use an actual picture. That might be a little ethically questionable, but you get the picture? Believe it or not, she did have a mouth on her, and that mouth did a lot of yapping. Next we have Anita Max Wynn, Sir Drake. Now listen, Drake made Marvin's Room, but recently he been on that fruit cup speech. I don't even know what he's yapping about.
Ladies with gentle hands. This is my alter ego. Anita Maxwin. Anita Maxwin.
I still haven't put my finger on what he's on about, but he made Marvin's Room. Next we have Sir Cardi. Listen, if a Cardi song comes on, you better believe I'm busting a move, whether I know what he's saying or not, which happens to be the case for 95% of his songs. I have no idea what he's talking about. He does speak Cardanese, which isn't quite Yappanese, but it's close. Next, we have Twitch streamer XQC. I don't watch this man, but from the clips that I've seen, I don't know what he's talking about. I quite literally can't understand a single syllable that comes out of his mouth.
Caught serial killers because of 23andMe and stuff like that?
No, yeah. I'm a haver, but I've seen some of these documentaries. I ain't believe none of that. Hey, the game government ain't no getting no one in the back.
Same thing as Cardi, right? But Cardi, I'm really feeling it. This man, I'm not feeling nothing. He's just yapping. He's on a whole lot of nothing, is what he's on. Next, we got Kai Cenat. I'm gonna be honest here. He does a lot of yapping, but I also do not care. All he does is scream and yap. Yap and scream, intertwining the two, and then claim that his streams are for adults. If you haven't seen that little clip that he just put out where he's like, what do you mean my streams are for 12-year-olds? When you click on it, it says 18 plus. Can niggas not read?
I don't know who thinks and believes that I make content for kids, but you're dumb as shit. If kids is tuning in also, nigga, if you do your fucking research, you dumb bitch.
Bro, nobody of the adult mind is watching one of your streams. It is all 12 and under. Pause. Resume. Now, I realize that his intentions, he probably didn't set out to build his Twitch empire off of the back of minors, right? But the reality is that when your content mainly consists of loud equals funny, screaming and hooting and hollering, you might attract a little niglet or two. Listen, you just gotta understand the reality of who your audience is and who's actually watching you, whether you're making the content for them or not. It's all about self-awareness. And a good yapper has self-awareness, but this yapper, kind of mid. I do respect him though, because it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and hard work to build such a ginormous fan base as he such has. Whether that fan base is 95% prepubescent, we'll never know. Next we have Miss Taylor Swift. I've been saying this for a while. Taylor Swift is mid. She has been making the same song for 15 years or more or so. But respect where respect is due. She has literally built an entire cult. She could be the next Adolf Hitler if she wanted to. She has stood on slight business because of that. I'm gonna say she's a mid-yapper. Next we have the king of yapping, Charlie. This man could yap about anything. This man could talk about how he tried to suck his own penis. And I would sit there with popcorn in my hand, listening, interested in every single intricate detail that came out of this man's mouth. Top tier, no question about it. Next we have former President Barack Obama. Listen, he's just a likable guy. Whether you liked him or not as president, when he talks, you just feel good inside, especially as a Negro myself. When he talked, I just felt invigorated, I was just like, dang, preach, nigga. That's how I felt. I say he's a pretty literate man. Next, we have, I meet Ride Marvel pretty heavily, even though their recent content for the past few years has been actual donkey shat, all right? I will admit that. And She-Hulk was no exception to that donkey shat. Ness. I tortured myself to watch the entire series because I also meet Ride Daredevil and I heard he was gonna be in the series. He was in a single episode. And I was watching this and I was just hearing her yap. I just had the uncontrollable urge to hang myself off of a ceiling fan. Unbearable. Next we have former First Lady Michelle Obama. Nice lady, right? Y'all might not like this one. See, back in the day, when I was in elementary school, maybe you weren't around in this time period, school lunch went crazy. And then she committed an unforgivable war crime and ruined it for everybody. I will never forgive her for that. School lunch was like the most delicate, creative, tasty food on the face of this planet back in the day. And then she came in and was like, wait a minute, that's not healthy. And we're like, hey, like, what happened to the food, guys? Michelle Obama happened. She was on to nothing. Joe Rogan stands on business. He basically made the podcasting space what it is today. He built an entire empire with his Yapper. You gotta respect it. Next we have Ben Shapiro.
Let's say you've been a bad girl. Let's say, hypothetically, you've been a naughty girl.
Ben Shapiro talks in ×3 speed, but the memes are crazy. This nigga's annoying. Next we have top 5 villain of all time, Homelander. Despite him being a top 5 villain of all time, Homelander is a man-child if you didn't know. And he has no emotional stability. He does a lot of yapping, but there's pain behind that yap. That's what you gotta understand. But he's also Homelander. Next we have Neon. Neon has the face of somebody that would make me want to steal their lunch money. I would bully this nigga. And I'm no bully. This man just goes out in public and makes people's lives harder than it already is. People got a lot of stuff on their plate and he just adds an extra unwanted entree onto it.
I've seen you before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I'm not a fan though.
Oh, you're not? Damn.
Bro, I just wanted to...
It's all good. You probably have a great life out just being fat as shit.
He gotta go. Next we have Aiden Ross. This man is the definition of on to nothing. He does a lot of talking and he, like Biden, has no idea what he's talking about. There's just not much substance to his yap. He got a yapper on it, but ain't a lot of quality yap coming out of it. Next we have the GOAT, Katt Williams.
Lord, please pray for the soul of this bitch and guide my pimp hand and make it strong, Lord, so that she might learn a hoe's place. Amen.
Maybe you haven't heard. I'll be the one to, share the news. Katt Williams is that nigga. Let me spell it out for you. T-H-A-T nigga. He is that nigga. He started 2024 off with the biggest bang to ever bang. He was yapping, and every detail in his yap, I was just so invested. I was just like, investment at his finest. He's also a pimp named Slipback. So, immediate top tier. Adam 22, I wish you would go away. Blueface, baby. I don't know if you've been on Twitter, right? For some reason, he just has the uncontrollable urge to expose every piece and detail of his private life because he thinks we want to hear about it. Apparently, he thinks us normal people just wake up in the morning and we're like, dang, I wonder what's going down in Blueface baby's life. I'm sorry to break it to you, man. We don't want to know what's going down. Please stop sharing. Next, we have famous Austrian painter Adolf Hitler. This one goes without saying. And last, we have my dog. This man does not shut his yapper. All he does is yap. If he wants something, he'll let me know. You better believe he will let me know. But he's also a good boy. So that's an immediate top tier. Doing a little rearrangements. Let's see. Little tweak right there. But I think the rest is pretty accurate, yeah. So now everybody's questions have been answered. Pandora's box has been opened and all knowledge has been given to us. Now we know who the world's yappiest yappers is. What are we gonna do with this information? Only the Lord knows. You fellas have a blessed day.